Okay, we're live. Welcome to all you art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs. Let me do a little test. I decided I was going to start using the YouTube live option here, which a friend recommended to me. And this is the first time, so let me check if the mic is currently being used because I can't seem to have an option to control the mic here in from within the menu. But perhaps here we go, live, and can I hear myself from the mic? Okay, it appears so. Things seem to be working. So let's get started. I wanted to do a little drawing today. I'm going to mute myself on the. There we go. Yeah, so if you do not know me, my name is Frederic. I am a comic book artist, creator of the indie variety, and I have a YouTube channel where I interview other indie creators and authors. And I figured I'd start using YouTube Live here. And I'm going to draw today one of my characters. Her name is Razum. She is a Russian young woman who has psychic abilities and has been kind of groomed or trained to be a psychic spy for the highest bidder, whoever she happens to be working for or under control of, to be honest, because they kind of treat her a little bit like property in the story. And her whole goal with is to kind of get away, to flee, to escape, and find her freedom. And all right. This seems to be a little bit too focused on just the head. Let me try to sketch that again. I like to erase a lot, especially in the beginning. I mean, mostly in the beginning, because the initial sketch is the most important part. If you don't feel like it's right in the beginning, you're going to be building and rendering upon something that is not to your liking. So why not get the best possible composition, position, angle from the get-go? So I kind of want to get a nice view of her upper body as well. There we go. Here she is kind of front facing, and she usually has a nice cap, which with this composition won't fit in. So let me let's try this again. Try this one more time. Like I say, I like to erase a bunch in the beginning. I erase a lot for the composition. I erase for hands, sometimes faces. But yeah, super important. Composition is the foundation of everything else. It's like you start building your house and it's not in the right part of your land. You might build the best house. It's just it won't sit right. Okay, so let me try to get her hat here outlined to start with. Her head might be this size here. And I want to make sure I can get her upper body as well. She's a beautiful young woman, and we want to feature that. There we go. I think I think this is a better composition. This is just a loose sketch, but everything seems to be in the frame, in the panel. And I've designed her wearing a large fur collar as well. So, which kind of end up looking like pom-poms from a certain angle, which which is which is fine. Actually, more of a feature than a bug. Kind of reminiscent of a cheerleader in a sense, even though she's nothing of the sort. But it's very feminine. Doesn't hurt the character at all. And her eyes would be here. And I say would be because she may be, her eyes may fall in the shadows under her cap, which gives her a little bit of a mysterious kind of look. I'm going to give her fur color, some fur texture on the outline, and draw big, beautiful breasts here. There we go. Natural beauty. Want to emphasize that, or at least feature it. Things have been too ugly, too repressed for too long. We've got to bring back beauty in comics. Now, this is nothing pornographic or offensive. Not intended that way at all. But just part of the natural beauty that is found in nature. And here we go. We got Autumn Bratusa says hi. How you doing, Autumn Bratusa? Welcome. Welcome here. We're just doing a little chill drawing. I might zoom in a little bit, right? This might be a little better. So, drawing a female character in my upcoming comic called Ratel, and she is a psychic spy called Razum. And we're doing a little portrait. This piece is mostly for fun, mostly as an experiment in drawing on YouTube here. I've been doing a lot of art streams lately promoting the comic book, but they've all mostly been, in panoramic view on either my channel or other people's channels. And oftentimes with co-hosts in the form of interviews and discussions. So kind of flying solo here, doing something a little bit different, and seeing seeing how I can use the YouTube app for live streaming here in portrait mode. Friend recommended I do so, and here I am trying it out. So if you like it, if you like what you see, let me know. Let me know in the chat. And we got Wrangler here. Wrangler, how you doing, man? Hola. Bit of a different format. It took me a moment to find the like button. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I got recommended by Omer to give these a try. So I'm trying it out today. The old vertical live on YouTube. And it's very strange. I look at my YouTube opened up on the computer where I can see what it looks like. And then I look at my drawing table and it doesn't look like the same thing. Proportions are different. Is it the angle, perhaps? How strange. How you doing, Wrangler? What you doing today? Are you working? Are you like on a break? Hope you're having a good day. Look forward to doing some comic book reviews with you soon. We've got some comics like Push to. Okay. Got some comic reviews coming up. We got Patrick Quinlan's book to look at and review, as well as Fusebox's Space Pirate Adventure. What's it called again? Outlaw Nights. Yeah, that's right. All right. Is her neck looking right? Maybe her jaw's a little too big. Wrangler says, I just punched out and warming up the truck for the drive home. Oh, well, that's good, man. Hope you had a good day. Hope you're ready to rest, have some fun, maybe play a video game. I know you've been torturing yourself with that Hollow Knight game there lately, with these impossible levels that I've seen you jump through. I've just been having fun with the Hitman game myself. Finished it, at least the first playthrough. To be honest, Hitman is more of a about the replay than the first playthrough, because every time you finish a level, you get bonuses, you get extra ways to enter the level. You get like kind of included in the mission, brought in an easier point. You're given extra access, extra weapons. Really love that game at the moment. But maybe I'll try something else. Like I've been looking at Witcher gameplay. I've never tried it. Witcher 3. It looks like a lot of fun. I hear good things about that one. And since it's Halloween time, I thought I was going to try the Alien Isolation as well. Otter and I have been talking about that, and it could be a fun one to try out. Wrangler says he hasn't played that in almost a week. It was sucking up almost my thoughts, so I gave it a rest. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. It's good to take a break. Some of these things are so fun that it just becomes an obsession really quick. And I mean, it's cool to take you out of your daily grind, take you out of your usual space, and stop thinking about the same obsessive problems you're at all the time. But eventually, yeah, you want to get back to work, you want to get back to normal, work on other stuff, get the rest of your life kind of moving along too. But games are fun to dive into. All right. It's funny. I'm looking at what she looks like on screen almost as a counterbalance to what I see in front of me. Usually when you draw, you kind of want to like put your drawing up to a mirror to verify that things aren't lopsided. It's easy to get a distorted view of your own drawing, because if you're especially when you're drawing on a table and the art is not perfectly in front of you, then you'll get a stretched out view, right? You'll see it at an angle. We got Emerson. Emerson says hi. Brenda Meras says hi. Welcome, everybody. I'm just warming up here, doing a little drawing of one of my characters from an indie comic I'm working on. And very beautiful female Russian psychic spy, as she happens to be. And I'm trying to get basically the proportions in place. I'm kind of glancing from the drawing table to the screen, trying to make sure that all the proportions are right before I go ahead and add the clothing, add the details. So I started out erasing the basic drawing a couple of times, making sure the initial composition had everything I wanted on the screen. I should say on the page. This is how much we're on computers these days. We're always thinking in terms of screen. And right now I'm kind of like jumping back and forth from the screen to the page and seeing if everything is perfectly proportioned. And kind of adjusting, because sometimes things will look right from one angle, and then you scan it or you look at it through a screen, through a camera, and then you can spot instantly some lopsidedness, stretched out parts. And these are the types of things you want to get fixed early on, as soon as you can fix it, because once you've got the proportions, you've got the structure, everything else falls into place after that. Then you're just basically doing the rendering of your character, their clothing, their facial features. Speaking of which, let's put her eye up here, give her some eyelashes. That'll give her some life instantly here. And she'll start to look alive. One of her eyes is in the shadow of her cap. And some will say Illuminati symbolism here. One eye hidden from the other. It wasn't planned, but it gives her a little bit of a mysterious air to her. I'll give you that. And here we go. Got the shape of the cap going down one way. And then there's a strap over the cap. What do you call that? A flap? Visor. That's the visor, I think. Here we go. And then she's got a little bit cylindrical form up over here until the upper topmost part of the cap falls into proportion here, into place, which gives it a very majestic kind of presence. These military caps kind of inspire authority or power or something, right? And it's not by accident. I'm sure it's by design. Okay. Now, how's that? What's her expression like here? Brenda Meraz says, how are you drawing? How are you drawing? Who are you drawing? Okay, here we go. So I am drawing a character I created for my comic book. So Ratel is the name of the comic book. You can find more info at ratelcomic.com. And she is called Razum. So she is a Russian psychic spy. She is a character who was kind of brought up to kind of exploit her psychic powers for use by nefarious forces, corporations, military, whoever happens to be controlling her at the moment. And she's kind of yearning to escape. She's yearning to find her freedom and get out of this position that she's been placed in here. So that's kind of like part of the story of the initial comic, where she's running away from her master, in a sense. An evil overlord type character called Bankman. Very on the nose. A little campy. It's a superhero comic, so kind of fitting, I think. Let me know your thoughts on the matter. Here we go. I think it's starting to take shape a little bit. Maybe start to show her hair. She's got a long head of hair, flowing blonde hair here. That's kind of getting lost in her fur collar, too. Like a lot is going on back here. Here we go. Starting to take shape. And we don't see her arms, but this is kind of a bust design, a bust drawing, so I guess that's not too bad. Doing a lot of scratches here. I like to search for the right line, you know, kind of feel it out. It's not very clean and precise, but I think it's important to search for the right shape and the right line and the right contour until you find it. And then when it's time to ink, when it's time to do the finishing, you have the right lines are all in place. And it's easier to ink those. She's looking good on screen as well as on page now. Things are kind of like falling into place. And the kitty cat's jumping on my lap, so you might see her on screen here. A little bit at the bottom. She kind of likes to jump on the lap and come lick my hand while I'm trying to draw. It's not very helpful, kitty cat, but I know you mean well. I know you just want company and affection. There she is. Okay, so let's try to get the shape of her fur collar here. Get a little bit of texture, which gives her a nice silhouette as well, which kind of looks like pom-poms from a certain perspective, certain point of view. And I think that's about it for the contour. I maybe start to clean it up and focus on some detail stuff. Now, I forgot her emblem. She's got a butterfly emblem on her cap that I have to add up here. How's this? How's this look here? I want to show a little bit of her neck. The artery is kind of like neck muscles here at the clavicle where they meet the chest, the torso. But you don't want to draw too much, especially on a woman. You kind of want these to be very subtle. Sometimes I draw more to know where the lines need to be and to meet up. And then when it's time to ink, I'll leave out a lot of these lines. Or I'll just put a little dot to suggest that they're there. Just to leave it very minimalist, very elegant. Sometimes less and more. I think drawing is not just about which lines you draw, but which lines you leave out and you don't draw. There we go. Clavicles go here. And there's more sketch than is going to appear there in the final moment. We got a couple of people coming in here as well. We got Flashback and Yap Fam here. Hello, how you doing, sir? And we got Sheldon, one of our mods here, as well as Wrangler. Some great cans there. Why, thank you, Sheldon. You got a good eye there. Good taste as well. Yeah, she was kind of lopsided when I started, and I was talking about that earlier. And by looking at the screen where, because I'm kind of eyeing what the stream looks like on my laptop, it wasn't looking quite right on the screen, and I had to kind of come in back and adjust it on paper. And it's a good tool. Usually we use mirrors for that. But the screen can be a tool in its own way, I guess. Most people now are drawing digitally, and you've got a nice kind of easy way to flip the screen vertically, or I should say horizontally, when you're drawing digitally, so it'll flip like a mirror, and instantly your eye will recognize. Usually you'll have like one aspect or some details that'll be lopsided a little bit, which I'm now noticing that her eye is a little bit too much to the side here. So let me reposition it a little bit here. Like I was saying, I erase a lot at the beginning just to make sure that everything is in the right place. There we go. By erasing a lot, I just make sure that I feel if everything's right with the drawing before proceeding. You know, you want to know that you want to feel the energy of the drawing. You want to feel the presence of the character. You want to feel that everything sits right before you finalize the detail, because finalizing the detail it's much more simpler, right? You've got the foundation, and then you just go in and you do your, basically what's called the rendering, I would imagine, right? So then the shadows and the textures and things like that. But if the foundation isn't right, it'll always look off. But if you've got the good foundation, everything sits right in place. Got to make sure her chin's kind of somewhere between pointy and round, right? I mean, I know the manga artists will over-exaggerate the pointy chin. Oh, we got Dave Brinks in the house. Genuine Comics. How are you doing, good sir? Thank you for coming by. I'm just practicing trying to stream on YouTube live here in the vertical format, and just doing a fun little, bust of the female character in Ratel. She's called Razum, and she is a psychic spy who's very useful to certain powerful people, and a lot of people are after her. You can imagine why. And in the story, she tries to get away. So if you haven't visited yet, check out ratelcomic.com. Currently crowdfunding the comic book. You can get back your copy today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I've got a show every Tuesday at 8 Eastern where we interview people like Dave Brink, has come on the show and talked about his comic book, Perfect 10, which I'm looking forward to as well. Hardcover copies coming out, 6 volumes or 6 issues packed into one. That's going to be awesome, Dave. I'm so looking forward to that. Sheldon says, a great bust indeed, right? Right? I mean, that's why we're looking at comics. Why we want to see beautiful people, beautiful characters. And it's not about realism, you know? You have to have a foundation of realism, but we're here to see kind of reality kind of amplified, you know? Comics, it's not moving like the movies, you know, like film. There's no music in the background, so comics has to be kind of larger than life. We have to push the limits of what's on the page to make it exciting. And you do that with movement, which is all simulated, obviously, because the lines aren't moving once you put them down there. So you have to find curved lines that imitate the movement, suggest the movement, because the movement is all happening in your reader's mind. And that's the trick, isn't it? It's creating an illusion, a bit of a magic trick. How can you put on static lines on a page that when the reader opens up in a printed version of it, will be able to see an animated character in his mind doing crazy, fantastic things, and he will see speed where there's only static lines printed on a page. It's a big magic trick, isn't it? Here we go. So, again, searching for that perfect line, putting a ton of scratches down on the page, and then I'll come back in and erase the first sketches so I can keep just the right ones. So when it's time to ink here. And I kind of want to give suggestions that she's wearing some clothing, and it's not just a skin-tight suit, although skin-tight suits are nice as well. But just a couple of folds here and there will suggest that she's actually wearing some clothes. And here it's kind of doing a perfect contour of her body. And I'm kind of asking myself, should this follow her body in a skin-tight way, or should I give it a straight line down? I kind of like the way it follows the body here. Not super realistic, but it goes back to what we were saying. It's not always about being realistic. It's about having something that looks beautiful on the page. It looks good. All right, here's her nose. I kind of like the nose. I think I've got a good start on the nose. Her lips look luscious. They're a little bit bigger than I usually draw them, and I think I like this better. All right, let's get some shadows on her side here. And this piece is most likely going to be colored as well, so I like to leave a lot of the shadows for the coloring phase. Color can do a lot. I've been learning to color this year. I mean, I already knew how to color in a way, but kind of needed to level up my game, if you know what I mean. Been working with Krita, learning the particularities of that software, and also catching up to the coloring techniques of the pros. A lot of advanced techniques now in coloring. The game is not the same that it used to be. When I was growing up, you had very limited color on a page. It still looked beautiful, though. It still does. Like, the color selection was fantastic by some of the masters. We got Sheldon saying, Sean Chen was on K-Pop Junkie's channel saying the same thing about creating movement using her hair, debris, or anything that can create that effect. That's right, man. That's right. Good point. You should get him on your channel. He says he wants to hit any podcast he has 3 or more watchers for his Kickstarter campaign. Oh, cool. So Sean Chen, you say. Let me write it down. So how do I find him? Is he easy to find? Let me know how I can get in touch with him, Sheldon. I'll have a look at his Kickstarter, and you can drop the link. You're a mod. Drop the link for his Kickstarter, Sheldon, please, so I can have a look at it, and then I'll see if I can bring him on. That's a great suggestion. Wrangler says, in comics, verisimilitude needs to blend in with the rule of cool. Yes, I've been giving this a lot of thought. I kind of put three priorities in comic books now in my mind, where story goes first, then it's the rule of cool, and then the realism kind of is there, of course, because you want things to look realistic at the end of the day, but never at the price of rule of cool and never at the price of the story. So you want things to look cool, but if it looks cool, but you don't know what's going on, well, you have a pinup book, right? It's not a comic anymore. You're not telling a story. You're not moving you're not giving a message. The characters don't come to life in a context if it's just cool art you're looking at. So story goes first. Rule of cool for me is in second place. And then everything has to be all kind of tied up in a bow of realism so that you can sell the world that you're bringing your readers into. Does her neck look good? Does it look too tight? Maybe I should try giving it yeah, it looks a little bit too much of a straight line. Let me give her neck some more curved lines here a little bit. Just a little curvy, dainty, like this. Yeah, because it was too much of a straight line and it looked tense. Now it's much skinnier, very skinny. I think it's too skinny. Yeah, I think I need to make it skinnier than it was, but not that skinny. I think this is better, yeah. Okay, so this is skinnier than something than a real person's neck would be. But again, it's kind of like falling under the rule of cool we were saying. Despite it being a little bit too skinny, I think it looks better. It looks more dainty. And Sheldon's got the link. Thank you, good sir. I'll open it up in another tab and have a look at it. That's his comic link. Evermind is the title. Oh, dude, that looks really dope. That looks dope, man. Is he easy to find on Twitter? What's the best way to get in touch with him? Yeah, dude, that looks freaking dope. I'll have him on for sure, man. Great suggestion. All right, let's add some. Try to sketch in where the shadows would fall on her fur coat. Her fur coat's kind of falling over her chest a little bit here. Not too much. Some over, some behind, giving it a little bit of depth. Nothing too drastic, but just a hint. We got her forearm here. A little bit of shadow. And she's got a necklace as well. So I'm going to put the chain here falling on her top of her chest here. Got the chain would rest here, and she's got kind of a locket, right? It's not a cross. It's just kind of a memory locket, right? One of those little lockets that you press the top, it opens up, and you have a picture, a mysterious picture of someone from her past, maybe her mother, maybe someone else. Maybe it's not even somebody she knows. Maybe it's someone else's locket and she has no memories of her own. And she's kind of dreaming to have a connection to somebody, even if it's only in her imagination. Wrangler says, can you play clips in this format? No, because I'm not using StreamYard. So this is YouTube Live. So at Omer's suggestion, and I'm streaming straight from the phone here, which is why it's vertical format. So I'm thinking of doing these kind of maybe once a day to kickstart the channel a little bit, give it a little bit of a drive. Oh, he's got it. Instagram. Okay, let me open this up in another tab too. I don't go to Instagram very often. I had one. Well, I have one, but I was mostly posting like Warhammer pictures of models, and I've been painting back in the day. Maybe I should bring it back to life with my comic book stuff. But seems things can get really out of hand really quick with social media. There's so many avenues to get your stuff out there and things to follow. It can get overwhelming and out of control. Okay, here we go. Locket's got its shape down here. All right, I think she's coming in. The shape's pretty good now. Let me do a little bit of finishing texture on the fur coat. This should be good. Yeah, do more texture in the shadowy parts. So the texture also darkens the area, right? And the top part, I just hint at it slightly, so you know there's still texture there. But because the lines are not as heavy and they're more sparse, it looks lighter. Of course, this will be accentuated in the color step, but this way, even in the pencil or ink stage, you can already tell where the shadows start just by the sheer number of lines, the weight of the lines. That's a good way to make you feel the form, right? The form, the lighting of the scene. Oh, I'm drawing the fur coat through her hair here. I forgot. She's got long flowing blonde hair. It's coming in from her head, and the fur coat's going to be hiding some of it at this point here. This way, it looks much better. I was also thinking of giving her maybe freckles here. She's supposed to be a little bit young too, although she does look like a full-grown woman, but a younger woman. Let me add some details for the strands of her hair. Make sure it's clearly defined so no one mistakes it. You've got the big shape and you've got a few strands here and there. Maybe one strand in front of her face or two. It's always nice to see a loose strand of hair. It looks very natural. Falling on her chest like this gives the whole scene more volume. And yeah, her emblem needs to go here as well. Let me look at the chat. Oh, Sheldon found. Hold on. You've got a lot of information. Thank you, good sir. I'll open these up. Okay. He's got a YouTube channel. That's wonderful. That's all I can find. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. I can definitely hit him up on probably Instagram, even if I don't use it very often. I think it's a way to get in touch. Wrangler says she's almost as pretty as Sabrina. Well, Sabrina's a tough act to follow, especially in her younger days. She's quite the looker. And I don't even know if you're talking about your Sabrina or our channel's mascot, Sabrina Salerno. Could be both. Yeah, beauty's something it's very difficult to capture. A lot of subtleties. All right. And now it's about time to add her butterfly emblem on her hat, on her cap there, about here. So this is a reference, of course, to Psyche, Monarch program, and things like that. A lot of the psychic powers reference are symbolized by butterflies. It's kind of a common symbol. Other artists use this as well. It's not out of nowhere. Is it too big or is it just right? It's hard to say. It feels like it's just a little bit too large. Let me try it. Let me try another. Excuse me. Another sketch here. Another shot, another go at it. Butterflies often symbolize the spirit as well. A lot of people have stories about seeing butterflies after they lost a loved one in their lives. Butterfly will come in and kind of symbolize or bring a thought or a message of their lost one. So, a very powerful symbol, the butterflies here. And she has kind of a golden butterfly emblem, making it almost like you'd see a golden eagle on a military cap. She's kind of the psychic division of a secret program, so I wish she would have a golden butterfly instead of an eagle. I think this has got enough of the shapes in place that I can come in and ink the details over it at a later time. All right, I think this is a good portrait of her. There we go. Cap seems to be the right size. Sometimes I draw it a little larger than that, but it might be too large the other times. This one seems just right here. I'll add a little bit of an outline where the shadow starts to appear on the shape, because these are large military hats. Block out the light here at the top, or at least give a little bit of shade as the shape kind of reverts inwards towards the visor part. I think that's a good outline of the curve. Let me give a little bit of a shadow under her neck, under her chin here. And I'm starting to like the results here. What do you guys think? You like it? If you like, give it a like. If it's your first time here, I invite you to subscribe. I also have a show on Tuesdays where I interview people in the indie space. I invite you to come in and check it out. And if you like this, I may be doing more of these YouTube live streams in the afternoon or in the morning where I sketch out some stuff or work on some comic pages. Uh, Wrangler says, but perhaps I have a little bit of bias going on. Well, it's okay, Wrangler. Of course, she's your baby. Of course, you're going to love your Sabrina. Yes to both, right? Both Sabrinas. Sheldon says butterflies symbolize nervousness too. Right. Okay, that's a good point. That's an interesting aspect I wasn't thinking about. Does she have a butterfly knife? Oh, man. Sheldon, that's a good idea, my man. You want to go all the way with the symbolism, right? Well, she does now. How about that? How about that? That's a cool idea, man. I'll definitely put that. Those were so cool in the 80s and 90s when we were a teenager. Like, it was the height of the ninja films, right? American Ninja. And shurikens were in the minds of all 10-year-old kids, 10-year-old boys mostly. And shurikens and butterfly knives. Those were the coolest things. And nunchucks, right? That's a good thing. I'll definitely take that idea and run with it, Sheldon. Thank you for that. If she gets a cut, she can use a butterfly bandage. What's a butterfly? Oh, yeah, on your finger and stuff like that. I think I've seen those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are good ideas, my man. All right, well, that's it for this little stream here. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a blast. First test of the YouTube live function here on the app on the phone. And I thank you guys for dropping in and saying hello. I will see you guys on the stream again, hopefully. Thank you for joining in. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Check out ratelcomic.com. I'll see you around. How do I stop this now? Here we go.